Okay, the session is being recorded now. Let me repeat something that I said last week as well. This is regarding attending the meeting. Let me share my browser here. So I assume you can all see my browser window. What you should do is go to www.metrostate.edu and scroll all the way down and click on Zoom, this link. And once you click on it, you will get a sign-in screen. You should sign in here and then click on the meeting link. So I am asking all of you to do this from next week onwards, not wait for me to admit you. The reason is I don't want people who are not authorized to be here, who are not students of MetroState to be in this meeting. Otherwise, I will have to admit anybody who is waiting in the waiting room. I said this last week too, but there were about a dozen of you who did not do this. I am asking that from now on, you log into Zoom and then click on the meeting link. Please do that. We have had a very bad experience in the department with people being admitted to the meetings and people showing off pornographic pictures and stuff like that. Not students here, but from people from some places. I mean, we don't want those kinds of things to be disturbing our meetings. So please, I'm asking you to follow this protocol. Okay. Now, that out of the way, let's get started with my asking you if you have any questions on what we did last week. Do you have any questions?
Would we ask questions about review questions now, or is that later?
You can ask any question now, yeah.
Okay, I think we should go over number 20.
Of 20 on?
On the review question.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
and I can share screen, or you can.
I will show it to you.
Perfect.
Mm. So is your question on this particular problem? Can you see the screen? Taylor?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, is this the amount that a customer pays for a product?
Yep, I just wanted to be sure that I had the correct solution.
Okay, I will, yeah, can you tell me what you try to do?
Yeah, for sure. Give me 1 second here so I can pull it up.
Yeah, just read to me what you wrote and then.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, because I think when it's screen sharing, it's almost
you
like
won't
I
be able
can't.
to do it at this point. So the pseudocode for this would be somewhat like this.
Okay.
See, let's read this. The amount that a customer pays for a product is the advertised price less a discount, which is a percentage of the advertised price. For example, if the advertised price is $50 and the sale percentage is 10, the customer pays $45, 50 less 10% of $50. Write pseudocode to read in the price of a product, the sale percentage, and then print out the price the customer pays. So we need
So,
pseudocode for this.
so do you want me to, I mean, I can't obviously look at my document, but I think I recall.
Yeah, you
So,
can look at your document. I will. I want to say a few things about this. When you read a problem like this, the first thing you have to ask is, what is the input? So you have to divide your problem into a couple of things. Hold on. Okay. So you need to decide what your input is, what your output is. And then you need to see how to get from the input to the output. So how do you find out the input? So you need to read the problem carefully. Here is a short description of what is what the setting is. Gives you an understanding of advertised price and the price a person pays, etc. And here is a little bit of an example. The purpose of the example is to help you understand, nothing more. So here is a little more specific statement that tells you what should be achieved. So it is important to understand the different parts of a problem. Not all problems may be stated like this. So you can see here that you have to write pseudocode. Then look at this phrase, read in. Anything that comes after reading that is related to read in would be input. So here I can write, read in the price of the product. Then the sale percentage. So that's it. Only a couple of things. It should print out the price the customer pays. So it is settled now what the input is and what the output is. Now, the third thing that you need to do is the processing. For that, you have to think. And for every part of it, actually, you have to think. But getting the input is fairly straightforward in many problems because it would be written as something that you have to read in or ask the user and so on. And here you might see phrases like print out or write out or display, etc. Processing is more difficult because you have to see how to get the output from the input. For that, you resort to the description here. Once again, every problem would be presented in a different way. So there is no standard way that a client would give you, would write a problem for you. You can't ask for those kinds of things. So the amount that a customer pays is the advertised price less a discount. So here you have to also see some synonyms. The advertised price is the price of the product. Okay, so you should see that it is not going to be pure mathematics where everything is in terms of symbols and everything would be 100% consistent. That is not going to happen in this field. So you have to see that advertised price is the same as the price of a product, and the discount is in percentage, and the amount the customer pays is the advertised price less a discount. So at least I can write that here. So the price of a product. So I'm going to write compute the price the customer pays equals the price of the product minus the sale percentage or the discount. Actually, this should have been written the discount. So I'm going to write the discount here minus the discount. Of course, this is in percentage, but I have to compute the dollar values. If the percentage is 10, and if the price of the product is 1,000, you should not subtract 10 from 1,000. You should be subtracting the corresponding dollar value. So how do you compute the discount from the sale percentage? Based on the sale percentage and the discount percentage and the advertised price. So that would be the advertised price times the discount percentage divided by 100. The reason is if your discount percentage is 10, that is for $100. For every $100, you are paying $10 less. That is the meaning of percentage. So you need to compute it for $1. For $1, it would be 10 divided by 100 because that 10 is for $100. So divide by 100 to get the rate for $1. Multiply by the advertised price, you will get the total discount. So discount equals this. So you have, now you can actually write the pseudocode. The pseudocode would be, you have to read in the price of a product. And you have to say where you are going to store it into price. Then you have to read in the discount percentage. Into discount rate, maybe. The other one is getting too long, discount rate. I understand that that is in percentage, okay? So I'm going to just write discount rate with the understanding that it is expressed in percentage, not per dollar. So discount would be equal to price times discount rate divided by 100. And then you need to display or print the price the customer pays, which is equal to the price minus discount. You can write it like this, price minus discount, or you can actually compute that before, price paid equals price minus discount. And you can simply write price paid. And you can put all this between begin and end. And then put this there. So that would be the pseudocode. You need to.
Perfect. Thank you.
You should never put things like somebody asked me by email. You don't put things like $50 or something in the brackets here. No, you don't do that. Those are all examples. That is not what is going to happen in That is not necessarily what is going to happen in real life. You can't say that it is going to be $50 or 10% or anything of that kind. That is why you are reading it, because you don't know what the values are. Okay, so it is essential that when you read the problem carefully and figure out what the inputs are, what the outputs are, and how to get from the input to the output. Without that, there is absolutely no problem solving. When you get a problem like this and you have to write a Python program, you just need to sit and spend some time understanding what is involved, what the inputs are, what the outputs are, what the processing is, and then write out the pseudocode. Then go to Python and then type in the Python code that is equivalent to this pseudocode. If you don't take that approach, you are going to be having a very miserable time, unfortunately, with programming. If you rush to the computer and then start typing in things, most of you will find it formidable. Of course, you can always start Python, you can always type in something, but that is not going to be necessarily correct. So please be patient, spend some time understanding the problem, understanding the input, output, and processing involved, coming up with the pseudocode. It will pay dividends. Yeah, after a while, code like this would become very straightforward and you would have no problems coming up with code for a problem like this. But then you will get tougher problems for which again you will have to write some kind of pseudocode. So as you gain more experience, the problems that you saw 2 months ago would become fairly easy, but then it will get you will get harder and harder problems. And for that, you'll have to again think. That is why you keep developing the skills. But if you don't do it the right way, if you start developing bad habits now, it will stay with you and you will not be very successful. So please, for your own sake, for saving your own time and energy and to be successful, please follow what I am suggesting. If there are many students who don't follow this thing, they think that they are more comfortable typing in something to the Python, but that doesn't mean that you are typing in the right thing, because this is an all or nothing affair, programming. Either you get it right or you get it wrong. You know, there is nothing in between. If there is nothing like a bad, you are not going to sell a bad program, a program that doesn't work. So I am very serious when I say this. Please do not rush to the computer and start typing in Python code. But once you get to some stage like this, you can write Python code. So let's see how to do that. Okay, I still have a few more people waiting. Let me admit them and let me repeat this message about logging into Zoom. Okay, I'm repeating something that I said at the beginning of this meeting and something I said last week also. All of you, please do me a favor, do everybody a favor. Go to www.metrostate.edu before, and then log into Zoom and then only click on the meeting link. Because I don't want anybody who is not a student of Metro State to be in this meeting, okay? We had a terrible experience with Zoom in the spring semester when people from some place barged into the meetings. They were admitted by the instructor and they started showing pornographic pictures in the middle of the meeting. So we don't want those kinds of things to happen. So could you kindly go to metrostate.edu and log into Zoom and then only click the link. Let me show you this once more. let me show you. Give me a second. So you should visit www.metrostate.edu, and at the bottom of the screen, you can see a link to Zoom. So if you click on this link, you will get a login page, or you will get a page where one of the buttons is sign in, and you click on that. You can log in to Zoom using your star ID and password, and then click on the meeting link. Then you will be automatically admitted because you are an authorized user of Zoom, or you belong to MetroState. Okay, so I'm asking that all of you do this next meeting onwards, or if you have to step out of the meeting, sign into Zoom and then come in, okay? Please do that. Now, let me show you how to use idle. It was there in the video, but let me show you how to create a program. In fact, we will use the same code that we just wrote to write a complete Python program. So let's see how that is accomplished. So I have a Mac. Some of you may have a Mac, or some of you may have Windows. And what you should do is, if you have Windows, use the start button and then look for a Python folder, and then you should see something like idle, integrated development and learning environment or something. So I click on this and I get Python started. This is the shell. This is not where you type in programs. Typically, you can write in simple code like this: print hello. It will print hello. So you can try out Python code here, but that is not, this is not the environment where you would write your programming assignments or create programs for your labs. So for that, you should click the file menu and then do new file, just like you would create a document on Word. And here you can type in code. So let me do one thing. I'll go ahead and let me go ahead and copy this pseudocode. This is what I want to convert to Python code. So I'm going to put 3 quotes here so that these are all comments. So if you put 3 quotes and end with 3 quotes and put anything in between, these are all ignored by the Python compiler, the Python system. It simply treats this as documentation. It is meant for people like you and me to communicate our ideas with each other. So once you have this pseudocode, writing Python code is not all that hard. Let me show you one way of doing it, which is there in the assignment handout and also in the lab. So this is from the second assignment. If you look here, this tells you how to come up with Python code for corresponding pseudocode. So if I have pseudocode like, actually I didn't copy the pseudocode here, so let me actually the pseudocode should have been read in input. I didn't have the pseudocode for reading in. So input the price of a product, or maybe I did. I don't remember now. Oh, actually, I had the pseudocode here. I did. That is not what I copied. So let me go ahead and copy the pseudocode. Sorry about that confusion. So this is my pseudocode, right? You can use a format to indent stuff if you want. So if you had a statement like read in the price of the product into price, so pseudocode is similar to this. The corresponding Python code is here. I have given it in the form of a small table. So input an integer into X. You should put X on the left-hand side and then put equals. And since you are reading in the price, int is not the right approach. Actually input a number with a decimal point. Price would normally have a decimal point, so you should use float. So this is the right kind of statement. Of course, you don't have X here, you have price. So you should write price equals, then float input, and then in quotes, you write a description, the price of the product. So I'm going to write enter the price of the product. So that is my first statement. You have this table here, and it makes it a lot easier to write your code. Then read in the discount percentage into discount rate. Again, a discount percentage could have decimal points, so I should again use something like this. So I'm going to copy and paste this and make adjustments. That is a lot easier for me than typing in things again. Discount rate equals, enter the discount rate. For the product. So I'm done with two of the statements. Now, if you have something like set X to A plus B or set X to A star B, those kinds of things, it is even easier to write. You just write X equals A plus B or X equals A star B. In fact, I wrote it like this. So I didn't use set, or I didn't use the word to. So this can more or less be copied and pasted. Well, the only thing is I don't have the right cases. So discount, I would like to be in lowercase. That is the normal convention. Price is the same. I have price here. I'm using price. I'm using discount rate here. I'm using discount rate. So everything looks fine at this point. Now I have to print the price paid. For that, I would use this translation table. If I have to print a few things, I would put them in parentheses, separate them by commas. So I can print price paid. Of course, this will simply produce a number, and I don't want that. I would like it to be more informative. So the price the customer pays is, and then end the quotes so that this will be printed exactly as given here. Then the next thing to print is the price paid. So I have a comma here. Everything has to be separated by a single comma. And Python will introduce a space on its own, which is good for you. Now you need to save this. In fact, I should have saved it even before so that I didn't have any unpleasant experiences. So I'm going to save this in a reasonable place. I will call it L2 example. Notice that this is saved with the same name that I gave, but with an extension of py. Now I can run this program. I could take a quick look to see whether there is anything that is evident to me to be wrong. I can't see anything. So let me go ahead and run it. And let me type in 50.0 for the price of the product, 10.0 for the discount rate, and actually I shouldn't have written 10.5 because it is more difficult for me to compute the discount value. I'll have to use Excel or use a calculator. So let me use simpler numbers. 50.0 for the price. So I typed in wrong anyway. 10.0 for the the 5.09 would be the I'm not sure about this either. So let me go ahead and run this once more because I need to verify whether this is coming out right. 10.0. Yeah, this looks right because 10% of 50 is 5. So the customer pays $45 after 50. So the things work out fine for me. So you should actually have the test data also created before you start writing your program so that you can test your program using the test data. The test data should be exhaustive, but it shouldn't be too complicated that you can't even verify whether the answers are right. So there is a trade-off. Any questions before we start the class exercises? The second assignment.
Do we have to download the Python and the idle program for this?
Yes, you have to download that.
So we use the
it will take probably 5 minutes for you to download it and install it. So
for Windows, is it free?
Sorry?
For Windows, is it free?
I didn't get the last word. For Windows?
For Windows, is the Python program free?
Yes, it is free. It is completely free for Windows as well as Mac. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, do that right now. You will need to use it in your lab, not in the class exercise. Any other questions? I'm going to stop recording. Yeah.
I have an iPad and I was wondering, can I download Python on it?
I don't.
Or is it only for Windows and Apple?
I don't know that it's available for iPad. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know that, the answer for that. So let me go ahead and stop recording and I'm going to call out the names. So let me go ahead and I will make the recording available to you later.